Hey guys. So I thought this might make an interesting idea for a video. Today I'm going to talk about how makeup brands and stores that sell makeup could improve. And if you have any ideas on this subject, leave your comments down below because I'm sure that there are lots of other things that could be improved upon. The number one thing I would like to see improved upon is quality consistency. There are so many brands out there that I enjoy that I would love to do like a one brand tutorial on, and I used to do a lot of videos like that in the past, but the problem with that is there are certain categories of products that brands just can't seem to do, or they really struggle with it. Mascara is the first thing that comes to mind. Do you know how few really good mascaras there are out there? Um, False eyelashes are very popular on YouTube, but in real life, I don't feel like the average person wears false lashes. I feel like real people um, wear mascara. I mean, that's just the statistics and the sales numbers prove that mascara is one of the most popular selling items. And I feel like a lot of the mascaras that people rave about, I really don't think even those are that good. So yeah, come on, brands, you can do it. You can make a good mascara. I mean, there are some good mascaras out there, but not that many. So that's just one example, but I would just like to see consistency of quality across the board, because how many brands can you think of that there's certain products of theirs that you really love, but then there are other categories that you just never buy anything from that category in that brand because there just isn't anything very good there. So that's one way that brands could definitely improve is quality, consistency, and if you have an area of weakness and you know your products aren't that good in that category, then work on it, improve it. Okay, my second thing that I want to, I'm not complaining, it's constructive criticism. That's what people always say, right? Is I understand that people like warm tone products, but the market is flooded. I mean, how many warm tone neutral eyeshadow palettes do we need in this world? Variety is the spice of life. Look what happened when Jeffree Star released that blue eyeshadow palette. People went crazy for it because they're tired of the warm tones. And there's so many things that could be done in that regard, because like when you see bright colored palettes, it's not really that practical in a collection to have one palette that's just all bright colors. You need to mix it up and have brights, but then have some colors to go with it that will complement it. But we also don't want to see a whole palette of neutrals with that one blue eyeshadow in it. I mean, come on, how many times has that been done? So get creative. Think outside the box. Don't always make a predictable line of palettes where you have your nude or your neutral palette, and then you have your smoky palette with the blacks and grays and whites and silvers, and then you have like a blue palette, a purple palette. Um, I don't know. I feel like there could be more variety. And then you always have like the fiery palette that has the reds and the oranges and the bronzes. That makeup companies can do better. You need to come up with some interesting ideas. Remember when, was it Tarte, that they had put a picture of this green eyeshadow palette for St. Patrick's Day, and then it ended up being a joke? And then, people were mad because they really did want that palette. And there was that company recently that made a green palette and people went crazy for it. It sold out like in 2 days or something, or probably even less than that. But my point is that people want different things. They don't want to buy the same things all the time. And warm tones are, everybody already has them in their collection. When I see somebody releasing a new warm tone palette, I immediately just, go to the next thing that I'm looking at, because we all have that already. We don't need any more. And cool tones is something that I don't see enough. Speaking of which, let's talk about blushes. Why in the world of blushes are the only choices pink, peach, and maybe like a bronzy, natural type color? There are other colors that we could do for blushes. I mean, I understand the concept of blush and what it's supposed to do and what it means, but like that blush that I showed you that I found the other day at Dollar Tree that was like this unusual shade of purple. We need to see more purple blushes, because I love purple lipstick, but I like to wear a purple blush with a purple lipstick. I like to tie it together and wear the same color family. And a lot of times I can't even find purple blushes. So, we need to be a little more adventurous with that, please, makeup companies. Purple blushes, thank you. Okay, changing foundation color names. A lot of people, not necessarily people who watch YouTube or make YouTube videos, but a lot of people find a foundation that they really like and they stick with it. They don't get that adventurous with their foundation. People get adventurous with eyeshadows and lipsticks, but a lot of times when people find a foundation they like, they stick with it. So please, makeup companies, don't change your color names. That confuses the hell out of everybody and just makes it more difficult to just run into a store and grab your bottle of foundation. I'm talking to you, e.l.f. e.l.f. Flawless Finish Foundation. Fantastic, inexpensive foundation that a lot of people love. They took the shade Porcelain, changed it to the color name Natural, and then changed it again. What is up with that? I understand they're trying to make it an accurate color description, because really it wasn't porcelain at all, which is why they changed it to Natural. And Natural was fine. So I don't know. They keep changing their color names, and I have no problem with a company that wants to expand their color range, but don't keep changing all the names. It's too confusing. And also, there are certain brands, while we're on the subject of foundation, that will release like a new line of foundations every year. And then the foundation that you used to like is now no longer available. I understand that people want whatever is new, that sells product, is whatever is new, people want to try it. But if something is really good, please don't discontinue it, especially if it's a big seller. You're cutting your own throat. So, and so many brands are guilty of doing that. Websites. Websites can be improved in so many different ways. Actually, the first thing that comes to mind is store websites. Thank you so much to the stores who put their inventory, we're talking about makeup, just that aspect of a website, but they put their inventory online, and then there's a button that says Find in Store. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that, and I wish that all the stores did that. I understand the difficulties of this because inventory is constantly changing. So somebody comes in and buys something and now it's out of stock and it wasn't a few minutes ago. But that's why you'll see in small print at the bottom, please call first to double check the inventory, quantities change, that type of thing. Okay, I get that. But if I'm looking for a certain product and I don't want to have to run around to 50 different stores to find it. So I applaud the stores who have their inventory online that I can check it. Although some of you, it seems to be extremely inaccurate. I'm talking to you, Sephora. Sephora, whenever I'm looking for a specific product at Sephora, and then it says it's in stock, I go to the store, it's never there. I don't know what the deal is. They need to revamp that somehow, the way they're doing it, because it's just not working. Um, but yeah, I don't really shop at Sephora that much because I don't have that kind of money. But um, yeah, it would be so nice to be able to just type a product, just do a general Google search, and then have every place that it was available show up. But some stores just don't make their inventory available to Google search results or even on their website itself. You just, sometimes they'll list it, but then they won't say where to find it. So people like Ulta and Sephora, Target, Walmart, Walgreens, um, Dollar General, they all list what products they carry in the store. Christmas Tree Shop, Harmon Face Values. But there are some stores that just don't have it. Or some stores that they'll list some things but not others. That makes no sense at all. So this whole thing can be improved upon. Mac lists their products online. Okay, speaking of Mac, what is the deal with Mac employees? It has been my experience that I either love the people that work at Mac or they're just downright rude and mean and horrible. Um, I would shop Mac again, it's a higher priced thing, so I don't shop there as much as I would like to, but I would probably shop there more if some of the people that work there weren't so friggin' rude and mean. Oh my God. I've had more bad experiences at MAC than probably any other makeup brand that I can think of, as far as like beauty counter, department store type makeup. Okay, rude employees, just not necessarily at MAC, but at stores. I used to work in retail, okay, so I feel like I'm entitled to talk about this because I know that some of you out there probably work in stores and you're like, haven't you ever had a bad day? When you work in retail, you have to be nice and you have to be friendly to people, or you should be, we'll say. I went to a store the other day. Um, I don't want to say where it is because it doesn't really matter. I'm just generalizing here. But I went to a store the other day and I walked in the door and I started to walk towards the makeup section and an employee looked up from what they were doing because, sometimes stores will give you little projects to work on. And they looked up from what they were doing and the look on their face, it was like they wanted to kill me. I'm not exaggerating. And I did something kind of crazy, which was totally, I don't even know why I did it, but I don't know if maybe I was testing them or trying to see if this would work, but I smiled at them. That completely changed their attitude at that point. I think it like snapped them out of the mood they were in or something, and they were like, hi, and they got friendly, and I was like, wow, that's weird. Okay, so if you have problems with a certain store that you like to shop at, try that because it worked. At least it worked with that particular person. Um, but really, I think what stores and companies should do is, have you ever heard of secret shoppers? I used to work for Borders Bookstore when Borders still existed. I miss that job. Um, and they had secret shoppers come in. And if you don't know what that is, they pay a company to come in and pretend to be a regular customer. There are companies that you can hire that will send a secret shopper to your store, and then the secret shopper, when they leave the store, they have to go through a checklist. Did the employees do this? Did they do that? And it basically just sends the company like a report card of what they were good at and what they weren't good at. And the stores can actually tell the company that sends the secret shoppers what it is that they're looking for. And so I was secret shopped many, many times. And then my supervisor would tell me, what I did good at and what I didn't do good at. And the thing that I always missed the mark on was we were supposed to make additional suggestions, and I rarely, if ever, did that. Even though, I was supposed to be doing it, that's what I got in trouble for basically all the time. And the reason why I didn't like to do that is because as a shopper myself, if I would go to a store, I hate it when employees would be pushy and try to sell me stuff that I didn't want. I would go to a store looking for certain things, and then, don't try to make me spend either more money than I want to or money that I don't have. So I would hate that. But other than that, I would always get high marks because I would always go to great lengths to help somebody find something, especially at Borders where it was a bookstore. Things can get misplaced or things can be in the back room and not put out on the shelf yet. But I would go out of my way to help somebody find, if they were looking for a certain book, I would double over backwards to try to help them find it. But also, I would always try to be friendly with people. And, what companies and stores need to realize is when people are shopping for, we'll say, disposable goods like makeup, books, things that they don't really need, they just kind of want them. They are doing this because it's something that makes them happy, that is fun, and they don't have to spend their money in your store. So when you walk in, you expect or want somebody to smile and be friendly, but not too friendly, not so friendly that they're going to be pushy and follow you around. Or I used to hate it when I would hear anybody say, can I help you? Is there anything I can help you with? I don't want somebody to bombard me the second I walk in a store. Maybe I just want to look around a little bit first. I remember one time I went into, what was the store? It was like some kind of high-end store like Ralph Lauren or something like that. And oh my God, people, they just wouldn't leave me alone. Every 2 seconds, a different employee would come up and try to, accost me. But yeah, I don't like it when employees are too pushy. But yeah, please, if you work in retail, smile and be friendly, because it makes a big difference. I can't stand rude employees or people who never ever smile. It sends the wrong message. I know you're probably serious about your job, but just be friendly. Let's see. What else? Oh, limited edition products. Everybody gets excited about limited edition collections, and people go crazy trying to find things, or they will want to order something that they see somebody talking about. I think it would be really nice if the makeup brands would make larger inventories for their limited edition products. I know it's limited edition, and that's the whole point, is that you're supposed to get excited and hurry up and buy it, but don't make it so exclusive that your website sells out in an hour, or if it's at a store, people go to the store and there's like 2 of each product on the display and that's it. I mean, come on, that's crazy. You don't realize, makeup brands, how frustrating and infuriating that is for people that took the time to drive to probably multiple stores trying to find your product, and then once they got there, they're looking at a display that has been completely picked over. What you could do is have your display out And then at least once a day, have the employees at the store go in the back room, take more product, and refill the display. Don't have that be all you have is what is on that one display. So that, I think that would be fantastic. Okay, we're at 20 minutes and I had no idea I was talking for this long. So thank you so much for watching. Leave your own comments down below. What do you think could be improved upon in either makeup brands or stores, or what would you like to see for change in the industry?